Welcome to Inside San Diego, where we take a personal look at the hottest trends under the sun. On today's show, we'll have the most San Diego has to offer in love, life, fashion, fitness, food, and all-around entertainment. Live from the studios at KUSI News, Inside San Diego.
Also this morning, our relationship expert, Lily Cotilla, is here. She's going to be talking about the challenges, the pitfalls of early marriage. She has some tips on how to make your early love last a lifetime. Coming up next on Inside San Diego, being married is hard work, even for newlyweds. Find out how to build a strong initial foundation that will help your marriage last. Plus, when you think of newlyweds, most people picture a couple head over heels in love. But newlyweds have marital problems, too. Our relationship expert, Lily Cotilla, is here this morning to tell us about some of the pitfalls of early marriage and how to avoid them. Welcome.
Yeah, thanks.
You hear this all the time. You get a lot of young couples who come in for counseling.
Yeah, and early on in the marriage as well.
What are some of the common complaints or some troubles that they bring to the table?
Well, a lot of times women are typically conditioned to be pleasers, and so we'll take on a lot of the responsibilities in the beginning as a way of showing our partners what we're all about. And then over time, resentment builds because we really don't want to be cleaning and doing laundry and grocery shopping and all the chores. So if it's not divided equally, it starts to cause resentment. So it's important to ask our partners when we want help or how to divvy up the chores. And
you know, it's interesting because the trend seems to be people are getting married younger again. I mean, you see it in Hollywood and you see it out on the street. You see it in San Diego. So many young military families that are married. There are certain challenges that come with young marriage.
yeah, and when there are military families and people are out of town for 6-month stints, and a lot of times there are newborns involved, then all the responsibilities fall on the partner who's at home. And that's great that the husband is out providing financially, but it's still a lot of work remaining the household.
Well, let's talk about how to avoid some of the pitfalls of early marriage. And number one, you talk about making sure it's clear who's in charge of what.
Yeah, and to delineate that from the beginning, to sit down and really spend some time. Okay, well, you know, you do the grocery shopping by the end of the week, or the bathrooms will be cleaned by the end of the week, and not to set it up so that if it's not done by Wednesday night at 8 p.m., there's going to be a big brawl, but to give the person their own free time to do it when it feels right for them.
So make it clear, set out some guidelines there. Number two, you talk about discussing physical intimacy, talking about it. What are you talking about?
Yeah, well, in the beginning, you know, when we're in lust, we have lots of spontaneous sex. Well, in marriages over the first 5 years, it's no longer spontaneous, so we actually have to make time to plan for it and also to maintain it, and so that takes energy devoted to separating the time to do that. Research actually shows that 70% of couples who claim to have a happy sex life, it's based on the fact that their quality of the friendship is very high. So really it comes down to being close and feeling accepted and comfortable with your partner, and then you're more satisfied in the bedroom.
You know, it's interesting you say that. Being friends first is so important. I mean, we're talking about early marriages, people who get married young here. I'm assuming, and this could be just my own deal, but a lot of these people maybe haven't known each other for a long time, as maybe somebody in their mid-20s or beyond who's dated a long time before.
Yeah, they know the pretend self that we put off to the world to establish our best face. Yeah, and you know, that's not a bad thing. That's just kind of nature playing itself out. But then when the reality kicks in, we see who each other really is.
Number three, you say avoid criticism, contempt, defense, and stonewalling.
Yeah, these are the 4 killers in relationship. Research actually shows that if you have these 4, divorce rate can be predicted at an 82%. So criticism is different from conflict. When you have a conflict, or you have a complaint rather, it's about the situation or the behavior, but when you have criticism, it's a personal attack on one's character, and that is just hurtful.
80% divorce rate for people who have those characteristics.
82%, yes.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is discouraging. All right, number 4, look to make and receive apologies. It's say you're sorry.
Yes, say you're sorry. So actually, this can be predicted in terms of divorce rate by 90%. There are lots of repair attempts made in arguments, and we just don't detect them. You know, hey, can we slow down here? I'm feeling criticized. I'm sorry. Wherever these attempts are thrown into an argument to de-escalate, it's like putting on the brakes. When we learn to drive, an important part of driving is being able to stop. same with relationships, to stop that fight from getting out of control.
So if one partner has a very hard time saying, I'm sorry, that relationship could be in trouble.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you know, sorries are not always about admitting that we're wrong. In this culture, we're conditioned to think that way, but sorries are really a form of acknowledgement of the other person's feelings.
All right, number 5, turn toward your partner, not your family and friends.
Yeah, family and friends are great to vent, but we're not looking for their advice because guess what? My mom, my dad, my friends, whose side do you think they're going to take? They're, I mean, as objective as we try to be telling them the story, we do have a subjective component, plus they're not trained to give objective advice. So it's going to turn the energy away from the relationship and not focus on dealing and talking with those hard issues with our partners, which ultimately brings intimacy over time.
So keep your conflicts, keep your challenges in your own house.
Yeah.
It's not a family vote.
Yeah.
And finally, you say have a personal life, and it's also very important to have a joint life.
Yeah, a personal life so as not to give up yourself, your hobbies, your interests, your friends, your work, but to also create things that you do together. Now, that doesn't mean just because people go kayaking, they're going to have a great time. They have to really enjoy each other's company. People who go kayaking, one partner might say, don't pedal that way, or pedal faster, or turn right, or turn left, and that's not an enjoyable experience together. But to really be in the moment and enjoy your partner for who he is, who she is.
Lily Cotilla, our relationship expert, how to avoid the pitfalls of young love. Thanks so much for your time.
Absolutely.
For more
Thank you
information,
for having me.
KUSI.com for more info. Thanks, Lily.
Great, thanks.